What's going on, guys? Matt here. So today we're looking at the Cold Steel Marauder Bowie knife. Really interesting big blade, as you can see, and we're going to dive into it. We're going to talk about specs, size comparisons, what I like, what I don't like, and whether or not I'd recommend it. So guys, this is a really interesting blade, and it's kind of thrown me through a loop because there are things about this blade that I absolutely love and things about this blade that I really do not like. But let's do specs first, and then we'll do size comparisons, and we'll talk what I like, what I don't like, and if I recommend it or not. So on the Cold Steel Marauder Bowie, you were looking at 12.4 ounces overall, which is quite light for a blade that's 9 inches long. That's a 9-inch Bowie knife. This is a full-size Bowie knife. 4.7 millimeters thick on that thickness. So it's not a thin blade, pretty stout for its size. It's made of Aus 8. Gotta kind of do this so I don't knock anything over. Aus 8 steel, like a lot of older style cold steels were. Has a craton handle, again, like a lot of cold steels do. Overall length is 14 1/8 inch. This is obviously a clip point style blade, and to pick this up, I've seen them on Amazon for like $60. Between 60 and 80 is kind of what I've seen them fluctuate between. So let's do some size comparisons real quick on this Cold Steel Marauder Bowie. We'll just do a couple. So let's compare it to another Cold Steel Spartan. Big blade, big folding knife. Both have stone wash finishes on them. This one has kind of more of a shiny stone wash. This one has more of like a matte stone wash on it. I believe that's stone wash. Let me know if that's stone wash or not, guys. I love the look of it. But yeah, that's stone wash. Yeah, stone wash. Anyway, it's been a long day. Okay. All right. One more. We'll do another Cold Steel comparison. By the way, if you have a Master Tanto, and you've owned a BPS knife, BPS, that Ukrainian company, I've reviewed a couple of their blades. They make these sheaths, and this thing fits like a glove. You can hold it upside down. It does not shake out. It kind of almost pops in right there. Just beautiful leather sheath if you want one for your Master Tanto. Let's compare it real quick. So there's it compared to a Master Tanto. Okay, guys, so what do I like about the Cold Steel Marauder Bowie? Well, I think this blade is awesome. There are so many things about this blade that I really, really love. The blade itself. And we'll just go from it. So this big long clip I think is really nice. One, it's gonna save you a ton of weight. It's going to save you a ton of weight because this thing only weighs 12.4 ounces. So you're saving a lot of weight with having that big clip. It's also very pretty and gives you a nice thin tip for piercing. So this is really a fighting knife, guys. It's not really an outdoors blade, not really designed like that. Look at that handle. They designed that like the sub-hilt fighters. It's designed after a fighting blade. It's meant to mimic that. So it's not really designed for outdoor use. But this clip is really, really nice. Along with this clip, you would think, oh my gosh, that's going to be such a thin tip. It's going to break so easily. No, you would be wrong. That is a pretty stout tip for a Bowie knife of this size and for how thin that clip is. So I just love the giant clip that they put on this Bowie. I think it makes it look awesome, and I think it's just very, very well done. And it makes it one of the reasons this blade is so light is because of how kind of wide that clip is. So another thing I love is the finish. This stone wash finish is just gorgeous. Let's just take it in real quick. They could have just made this satin or covered it in some Teflon, but they chose not to, which I absolutely love. Yeah, it looks great. It's really an excellent finish. I think they did such a fantastic job on the finish on this blade. So this blade overall, I think what I love most about it is how wide that clip is and the finish. It's so nice looking. And along with that, it makes it such a light blade. A big 9-inch Bowie knife, usually you're looking at over a pound easy. The Cold Steel Trailmaster, it's known for being kind of a lightweight blade for how thick it is. That thing weighs over a pound. So, this being almost the same size Bowie length, I think is excellent for how lightweight it is. Another thing I like, and yes, this is normally something I would not mind, but on a big blade like this, having Aus 8, I think it's great because normally you'd get this in a tool steel or in a carbon steel, 1075, 1095, 1080, something like that. Aus 8's going to hold an edge nice, very similar to those, but it's also going to be a little bit more rust resistant, and it's also going to be still really tough. So I think that steel on a blade like this, a really good choice, and more companies should use the AUS series of steels, AUS 8, AUS 10, for their fixed blades, because it's plenty tough and it holds a nice edge, and it's a little bit more rust resistant than those carbon steels. So I really like the steel choice on this blade. All right, guys, let's talk about what I don't like. And because I love the blade, I think the steel choice is great. I love how lightweight it is. Really, what I don't like about this blade is in this frame right now. I know this is designed as a fighting knife. I get it. It's a very specifically designed handle. I hate this handle. I do not like the way it feels. I don't like how it indexes with my hand. I don't like it it's this sub hilt right here. This thing that's supposed to lock your finger in, and it does. It really locks it in. So if you're using this as a fighting knife, it's going to lock your hand in, but it's just not very comfortable in any other grip. And you guys know me. I like to use my blades in the outdoors, even my fighting knives, right? Even a knife like the Cold Steel Master Tonto. This is a fighting knife. It's a tactical knife, whatever you want to call it. I love using this thing in the woods. It's really comfortable. It actually works really, really nicely in the woods. So yeah, I want to use my blades outdoors. I'm a backpacker. I'm a camper. You guys know that. And this handle it's not going to lend itself to being able to do that. I know, because I tried and I could not get a comfortable grip on this thing. I could not get a comfortable grip. It does not index well. And I don't think it's my style of hands. I have big, thick, fat hands, with short fingers. I don't think it's because of that. I think it's designed for one specific purpose, and that is to be a fighter, and it probably excels in that well. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you've used this, in any sort of like training or anything like that, and if you think it would work, as a good fighting knife. Another thing I don't like, and let's see if I can get you guys to hear this, is this. You guys hear that? That is the handle. The handle, there is some looseness on the tang in that handle. So again, I've never had that issue with Kraton loosening up around the tang before. I know people have had that issue before with various other Kratons, but this came from the box like this. And yeah, that's just disappointing to me. So loosening from the tang, and if it was used, I'm sure it would loosen more and more. All right, and the last thing I do want to mention that I don't like is, even though I love this blade, I think it's a gorgeous blade, keeps the blade, the whole knife nice and lightweight. This edge came so thick out of box. It's hard to tell on camera, but I tried to do some carving with this thing, man. I was like, this handle sucks, and also this edge is so thick. Usually Cold Steel is really good about that, so I am going to say it's something I don't like because it is something wrong with the knife, but I think it's just the specific model I got. If you got another one, the edge would probably be fine. So my recommendation on this knife, if you're just using it as a piece, let's say you're a boar hunter and you hunt with a knife, you want to carry a big knife, I think this is actually a great option. For your kind of traditional boar hunting, which I know quite a few people actually do. So I think this is a great option for something like that. But if you intend to use this in the woods at all, it's just not a great option for that. So I personally wouldn't recommend it on that front. But if you're going to use it in a different kind of philosophy of use, then I think it could work plenty. It could work very well for you. So overall, a little bit mixed on the Cold Steel Marauder. I think it's an overall good, well-designed blade. It's just not a blade that connects that much with me. So take that for what it's worth. Whether or not you think I recommend it or not, it depends on the use you're going to put it to, right? So anyway, guys, let me know if there are any blades you want to see on tabletop, and we'll see you next video. Peace.